Okay, dear students, let's start our today's class 10 science class. As I remember, yesterday we were discussing about anomalous expansion of water and the effect of anomalous expansion of water. I am sure you all have understood what is anomalous expansion of water and what does it affect in day to day life, that also we have come to know. So, today I am going to begin with the very new topic, specific heat capacity. So, what is specific heat capacity? Before I come to the definition, let's try to think, let's try to observe something. Suppose you take some water in a vessel like this in A and another vessel like this. So, I have taken here two vessels, okay, of different size containing different amount of water. Now, you just start heating them, okay. Both of them are at normal temperature. The water in both the containers, in both the vessels, they are at normal temperature. You just think, and now you start heating them, and you supply the same amount of heat. Suppose I mean you are same amount of heat. I don't mean that actually you are using the burner of the same capacity. That means the heat of the flame is of the same capacity, okay. Both the these burners are similar. So, that's why it means with time they are supplying same amount of heat. So, now imagine after few minutes, if you are asked, suppose after 5 minutes, if you take their temperature, what you will observe, which one will be more hotter, what you will see, what you will find. Can you say the answer? Definitely, simply by thinking you can say, sir, the water at vessel B will be at higher temperature, okay. We have supplied same amount of heat, both of them are water, but even though we are not getting the same temperature, what is the reason behind that? Very simple answer, you all would be able to reply, sir, as because the container B has got less mass, A has got more mass, so that's why it will get heated faster. So, that's why its rise in temperature in vessel B will be more. Is clear? Now, suppose another observation, try to think. Here what we have done, we have supplied the same amount of heat for some time and we have seen the temperature, we have found the temperature difference, okay. Now, if I ask you, suppose both of them are at suppose 20 degree centigrade. So, in the first case, after 5 minutes, what do you find? Its temperature may be 25 degree centigrade, but its temperature will be 30 degree or 35 degree centigrade. Why it has become? Because its mass is less. So, that's why it's gets heated faster. Its rise in temperature is faster. So, its final temperature will be more than this, okay. Now suppose I tell you, you have to make the temperature of both this water at both the vessels same. You have to get the temperature, suppose 40 degrees centigrade for this water also, then this water also. So what you will do? You have seen that the water in this vessel, its temperature is rising faster than the water in this vessel. So it will come to 40 degrees centigrade in less time. So as soon as it comes to the 40 degrees centigrade, then what you have to do? Then you have to remove this flame. You have to stop supplying heat to this, and we will keep on supplying heat to this, and its temperature will keep on rising, and ultimately it will come to the 40 degrees centigrade. So what does it mean? It means we have to supply more heat here to gain the same temperature 40 degrees centigrade. Is clear? So from here what we are getting? Amount of heat what we have supplied, suppose that is Q, that is proportional to the mass of the body. If mass is more, then we have to apply more temperature. Sorry, we have to apply more heat. We have to supply more heat. Clear? To attain the same rise in temperature. Okay? But another thing also we are getting from here, that if we keep we are taking only one container, suppose this is in 20 degrees centigrade. Okay? Now we have to get the temperature 30 degrees centigrade. It means we have to rise the temperature 10 degrees centigrade. So we have to supply some heat. But if you have to make the temperature 40 degrees centigrade, what you have to do? Again you have to supply heat. That means it depends on the supply of heat, depends on the rise in temperature. How much rise in temperature you need, accordingly you have to keep on supplying heat. So supply of heat is also directly proportional to the temperature difference. Suppose we express temperature difference by dt. तो कुनै पनि बॉडी को टेम्परेचर, कुनै पनि बॉडी को एउटा मास को टेम्परेचर हामीले बढाउनु छ भनेपछि त्यो बॉडी को मास जति धेरै हुन्छ, सपोज बॉडी 20 डिग्री सेन्टिग्रेड बाट उसको टेम्परेचर 30 डिग्री सेन्टिग्रेड पुर्याउनु छ र हामीले चाहिँ 1 लिटर या सपोज 1 केजी मास वाटर लिएका छौं भनेपछि केही हामीले अमाउन्ट अफ हिट उसलाई सप्लाई गरे भने 20 बाट 30 जान्छ। तर अब तपाईलाई चाहिँ त्यही 1 केजी मास लाई अगर हामीले 2 केजी गर्दिन्छौं भने 2 केजी मास लिन्छौं भने त्यति हिटले पुग्दैन। We have to increase the amount of heat, then only it will reach from 20 to 30. So what does it mean? Heat is directly proportional to the mass. As the mass increases, supply of heat also has to be increased. Similarly, suppose 5 kg mass water को temperature 20 बाट 30 पुर्याउनको लागि you have to supply some heat, that is suppose m1. Now if I ask you same 5 kg mass, you have to now increase from 20 to 40 degree centigrade. Then m1 mass Q1 heat, 5 kg mass of water. If you have to increase the temperature from 20 to 30, suppose you have to apply Q1 heat. Now instead of 20 to 30, if you have to heat it up to 40, from 20 to 40, mass is same 5 kg. So definitely more heat you have to supply. Suppose the heat supply is Q2. So definitely Q2 will be greater than Q1. Q2 will be more than Q1. So that means what? Supply of heat also directly proportional to the temperature difference. So this is the case when temperature difference is constant. Q is proportional to M when dt is constant. Q is proportional to dt, temperature difference, when mass is constant. This is clear? Clear? So this one thing is clear. Now another thing, suppose you take an iron bar of 1 kg. This is of iron, suppose iron bar of 1 kg. Now you take another aluminum bar that is also of 1 kg, that is of aluminium, and both these bars, iron and aluminium, they are of the same mass, their mass is same, 1 kg 1 kg. Now suppose you supply heat, same heat you are supplying to both these bars. After few minutes, okay, if you check their temperature, can you say whose temperature will be higher? Can you guess whose temperature will be higher? Aluminium or iron? If you are applying the same amount of heat, in that case the temperature of the iron will be more comparison to the aluminium, if you supply same amount of heat. So what does it mean? The different substances, they need different amount of heat for the same rise in temperature. If I ask you, both of them are at suppose 20 degrees centigrade initially, 20 degrees centigrade, 20 degrees centigrade, and you have to reach the temperature 30 degrees centigrade, 30 degrees centigrade. Now if you start heating, what you will see that to reach iron up to 30 degrees centigrade, it will reach fast, but aluminium it will take more time. That means aluminium will absorb more amount of heat. So different substances, they are showing different, you can say quality for absorbing heat. Okay. So similarly, same quality they show while releasing heat. That means while they are getting colder. When they are getting heated, they are absorbing, and when they are getting cooler or colder, then they are losing heat. Same, okay. In the same way, they will show the pattern. So, what is the reason behind? Reason behind is nothing but specific heat capacity. Now the question comes here. Okay, we have to now think what is specific heat capacity. I have written the definition for you. If you will go through the definition, it's clearly written. The specific heat capacity of a body is defined as the amount of heat required to raise the temperature of 1 kg mass of that body by 1 degree centigrade. कुनै पनि बॉडी को 1 kg मास को 1 kg मास को टेम्परेचरलाई 1 डिग्री सेन्टिग्रेड बढाउनुको निम्ति जति हिट चाहिन्छ, that is the specific heat capacity of a body. Clear? The specific heat capacity of a body is defined as the amount of heat required to raise the temperature of 1 kg mass of that body or of that substance by 1 degree centigrade. यो स्पेसिफिक हिट क्यापेसिटी डिफ्रेन्ट सब्सटेन्सको फरक हुन्छ। त्यसकारण नै अघि जुन हामीले यी इक्जाम्पल्सहरू हेर्यौं त्यसमा चाहिँ फरक फरक एमाउन्टको हिट एमाउन्ट अफ हिट चाहिएको छ नि कारण के हो त भन्दाखेरि स्पेसिफिक हिट क्यापेसिटी फरक फरक भएको हुनाले. इज क्लियर? सो द डेफिनेसन इज क्वाइट सिम्पल. इफ यु आर आस्क्ड what do you mean by specific heat capacity of a substance? Very simple. The specific heat capacity of a substance or of a body is defined as the amount of heat required to raise its temperature, raise its 1 kg mass of the substance by 1 degree centigrade. Okay. The specific heat capacity of a substance is defined as the amount of heat required for 1 kg mass of that substance to raise its temperature by 1 degree centigrade. कुनै पनि एउटा सब्सटेन्सको स्पेसिफिक हिट क्यापेसिटी भनेको त्यति हिट हो जुन त्यस सब्सटेन्सको 1 केजी मासको मासलाई उसको टेम्परेचर 1 डिग्री सेन्टिग्रेड बढाउनको निम्ति जति एमाउन्ट अफ हिट चाहिन्छ त्यसैलाई हामीले स्पेसिफिक हिट क्यापेसिटी भन्छौँ. Its SI unit is joule per kg degree centigrade. Joule per kg degree centigrade. This is the SI unit I have written here, joule per kg degree centigrade. Okay. And some of the specific heat capacity I have written here in unit is in joule per kg degree centigrade. So water 4200 joules per kg degree centigrade. Alcohol 2590 joules per kg degree centigrade. Similarly, sand 800 joules per kg degree centigrade. Iron 470 joules per kg degree centigrade. Aluminium 910 joules per kg degree centigrade. Okay. So these I mean some other specific capacity are also given in your book. You can go through. Now due to difference in the specific heat capacity, actually what happens, some effects we can see some effects. So one of the effect is water is used to cool the engines of vehicles. Why? Give reason. You could be asked. So very simple, you can understand now. One thing to tell you, till now many substances are known, and out of all the known substance till now, the specific capacity of water is the maximum, and it's written here. I have written for you 4200 joules per kg degree centigrade. So specific capacity of water is how much? 4200 joules per kg degree centigrade. You have to keep in your mind for always. You have to learn it by heart. You shouldn't forget, because in some cases in numericals sometimes specific heat capacity of water may not be given also. So that's why this you should learn it by heart. Okay, specific heat capacity of water 4200 joules per kg degree centigrade, and this is the substance which has got the maximum specific heat capacity. So this property of water is also very much, it has got effects. Okay, one of the effect, it is used to cool the engines of vehicles. Now specific heat capacity, once again try to understand clearly what does it mean. It, suppose we have come to know definition that the amount of heat required to raise 1 kg mass of that substance by 1 degree centigrade. So if the specific heat capacity is high, means what? High means what? It needs more amount of heat to let its temperature go up. So as because water has got very high specific capacity, 4200 joules per kg degree centigrade. What does it mean? It means, simply you try to understand first what is the meaning. You could be asked, specific heat capacity of water is 4200 joules per kg degree centigrade. What do you mean by it? Or specific heat capacity of iron is 470 joules per kg degree centigrade. What do you mean by it? So with the definition you try to find out the answer of this question. Look here, it means what? 4200 joules of heat energy is required to raise the temperature of 1 kg water by 1 degree centigrade. Clear? तो यदि पानी मानौँ यो 1 kg पानी 1 kg वाटर 1 kg वाटर सपोज अहिले 20 डिग्री सेन्टिग्रेडमा छ भने यसको टेम्परेचर हामीलाई 1 डिग्री सेन्टिग्रेड राइज भनेको 20 बाट 21 डिग्री सेन्टिग्रेड मात्रै पुर्याउनु छ भने 1 केजी को मात्रै कुरा भइरहेछ यहाँ 1 केजी मास वाटरको 20 बाट 21 भनेपछि 1 डिग्री सेन्टिग्रेड राइज को लागि यसलाई कति हिट सप्लाई गर्नु पर्यो बल्ल यो 4200 जुल्स मा पुग्छ भने सरी बल्ल यो चाहिँ 21 डिग्री सेन्टिग्रेड पुग्छ भनेपछि 4200 जुल्स. So it's a very huge amount. भनेको अर्थ पानीलाई तताउनुको लागि पानी तातो हुनुको लागि उसले बढी हिट एब्जर्ब गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ. त त्यसकारण स्पेसिफिक हिट क्यापेसिटी हाई भएपछि के हुने भयो त भन्दाखेरि वाटर क्यान एब्जर्ब मोर अमाउन्ट अफ हिट विदाउट लेटिङ इट्स टेम्परेचर गो अप. I mean comparatively मतलब कम्पेयर को हिसाबले मतलब के छ भन्दाखेरि धेरै भन्दा धेरै उले हिट आफूले एब्जर्ब गरेर पनि आफ्नो टेम्परेचर त्यति धेरै चाहिँ बढ्नु दिदैन वाटरले किनकि उसको टेम्परेचर बढ्नुको लागि स्पेसिफिक क्यापेसिटी हाई भएको हुनाले उसलाई धेरै भन्दा धेरै हिट चाहियो. जस्ट रिभर्स अल्सो यु शुड अन्डरस्ट्यान्ड मानौँ 20 डिग्री सेन्टिग्रेडमा अहिले पानी छ 1 केजी वाटर 20 डिग्री सेन्टिग्रेडमा न यसलाई चिसो पार्नु छ 20 बाट 19 डिग्रीमा आउनुको लागि पनि 1 डिग्री सेन्टिग्रेड घट्नुको लागि पनि फेरि वाटरबाट 4200 जुल्स अफ हिट एनर्जी हेज टु बी रिलिज्ड. क्लियर? त स्पेसिफिक हिट क्यापेसिटी भनेको के हो त भन्दाखेरि 1 डिग्री सेन्टिग्रेड बढाउनुको लागि जति हिट चाहिन्छ 1 केजी मासको भनेपछि ठ्याक्कै रिभर्स पनि फेरि 1 केजी मासको टेम्परेचर 1 डिग्री सेन्टिग्रेड घटाउनुको लागि जति हिट निस्किनु पर्छ त्यो स्पेसिफिक हिट क्यापेसिटी हो. नट ओन्ली फर द हिटिङ केस फर द कुलिङ केस अल्सो सेम. क्लियर? सो दिस डेफिनेसन यु क्यान अन्डरस्ट्यान्ड इन सम डिफरेन्ट वे that the specific heat capacity of a body is defined as the amount of heat to be taken out from the body to let its temperature fall of 1 kg mass by 1 degree centigrade. Clear? 1 kg mass को टेम्परेचर 1 डिग्री सेन्टिग्रेड बनाउनुको लागि जति हिट चाहिन्छ और 1 केजी मासको टेम्परेचर 1 डिग्री सेन्टिग्रेड घटाउनुको लागि जति हिट झिक्नु पर्ने हुन्छ उसको बडीबाट स्पेसिफिक हिट क्यापेसिटी भनेको त्यो हो. क्लियर? सो अब वाटर इज युज टु कुल द इन्जन्स. अब इन्जन्सहरु भेहिकलको जुन इन्जन्स हुन्छ हामीले हेरेछौँ बोनट खोलेर पानी हालिरहेको हुन्छ. ओके गाडीको चाहिँ त्यहाँ इन्जनलाई चाहिँ चिसो पार्नुको लागि जुन वाटर ट्याङ्क हुन्छ त्यहाँ पानी हालिरहेको हुन्छ. के हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि वाटरले अब के गर्छ त हिट एब्जर्ब गर्छ. अब वाटरले हिट एब्जर्ब गर्दै जान्छ. कहाँबाट गर्छ त हट इन्जनको तातेको इन्जनको चाहिँ जुन हिट छ त्यसलाई वाटरले एब्जर्ब गर्छ. त कम्पेरेटिभली फेरि वाटरको टेम्परेचर आफ्नो त्यति बढ्नु पाउँदैन किन भन्दाखेरि उसको स्पेसिफिक हिट क्यापेसिटी हाई छ. मतलब धेरै भन्दा धेरै उसले हिट एब्जर्ब गर्नु सक्छ विदाउट लेटिङ इट्स ओन टेम्परेचर गो अप इन द्याट मेनर. जति चाहिँ उसले इन्जनलाई चिसो पार्छ त्यो हिसाबले उसको आफ्नो टेम्परेचर बढ्दैन ड्यू टु द हाई स्पेसिफिक हिट क्यापेसिटी. सो द्याट्स वाइ इट इज युज्ड टु कुल द इन्जन्स. एनदर इफेक्ट वाटर इज सुइटेबल फर हिटिङ सिस्टम. अब जस्ट सेम स्पेसिफिक हिट गर्दाखेरि नै यो भइरहेछ स्पेसिफिक हिट क्यापेसिटी हाई भएको हुनाले. अब हिटिङ सिस्टम भनेको मतलब कुनै चिज धेरै बेरसम्म हामीलाई चाहिँ तातो राख्नु छ. जस्तो फर इक्जाम्पल यु माइट हेभ सिन हट वाटर ब्याग. हाम्रो घरमा चाहिँ हामीले अब खास गरी बुढेसकालमा अब ढाडसाड जब दुख्छ भने हामीले के गर्छौँ त त्यो वाटर ब्यागमा पानी तताएर चाहिँ बोइल्ड वाटर पानी तताएर हट ब्यागमा चाहिँ त्यो राखेका हुन्छौँ र त्यो हट ब्याग हामीले युज गर्छौँ। यो यहाँ हिटिङ सिस्टमको काम गरिरहेछ। फर्स्ट केसमा त्यसले कुलिङको काम गर्दै थियो, तर अब यो एउटा एक किसिमको हिटिङ सिस्टम भयो। यसरी बुझ्नु पर्यो। किन भन्दाखेरि हट ब्यागमा अब हामीलाई के छ त भन्दाखेरि धेरै बेरसम्म त्यसमा पानी तातिराखेपछि बल्ल धेरै बेरसम्म त्यो हट वाटर ब्यागको युज हुन्छ। त पानी किन धेरै बेरसम्म तातिरहन्छ त? एकचोटि जब हामीले पानी तताइदियौँ, यसरी बुझौँ, ओके, एकचोटि जब पानी तताइदियौँ त उसले के छ त भन्दाखेरि स्पेसिफिक हिट क्यापेसिटी हाई भएको हुनाले धेरै हिट उसले एब्जर्भ गरेको छ। अब त्यो फेरि चिसो हुनुको लागि पनि धेरै हिट निस्किनु पर्यो। 1 केजी मास वाटरबाट 4200 जुल्स जब हिट बाहिर निस्किन्छ बल्ल उसको टेम्परेचर चाहिँ 1 डिग्री सेन्टिग्रेड घट्छ। यसको मतलब पानी तातो हुनुमा पनि टाइम लाग्छ, किनकि मोर एमाउन्ट अफ हिट इट हैज टु एब्जर्ब। त्यस्तै गरी तातो पानी फेरि चिसो हुनुमा पनि टाइम लाग्छ। चिसो पानी तातो हुनुमा पनि टाइम लाग्छ ड्यू टु हाई स्पेसिफिक हिट, र तातो पानी चिसो हुनुमा पनि टाइम लाग्छ ड्यू टु हाई स्पेसिफिक हिट क्यापेसिटी। सो हिटिङ सिस्टममा पनि कज त्यही नै हो। एज बिकज वाटर हैज गट अ भेरी हाई स्पेसिफिक हिट क्यापेसिटी, द्याट्स वाइ हट वाटर has to lose a very huge amount of heat to get cooled. So that's why it doesn't cool faster, it takes time. So that's why water can be used for heating system. Okay, another effect you can see, sea breeze occurs at day. Sea breeze भनेपछि the blowing of wind from sea towards land, that is called sea breeze. Okay, समुद्रतिरबाट चाहिँ हावा चाहिँ ल्यान्डतिर चाहिँ बग्नु, त्यसलाई हामीले सी ब्रिज भन्छौँ। एट डे दिउँसो चाहिँ समुद्रबाट ल्यान्डतिर चाहिँ हावा बग्छ। एन्ड ल्यान्ड ब्रिज अकर्स एट नाइट, राति चाहिँ फेरि ल्यान्डबाट समुद्रतिर चाहिँ हावा बग्छ, ल्यान्ड ब्रिज द्याट इज। सो द्याट इज अल्सो due to the specific heat capacity. Now we can understand this. अब हामीले यो हेर्यौँ, suppose this is sea, okay, this is sea and here is land and here is land. This is your land, this is your sea. Sea has got water, land is our, you can say, sand. Okay, now look here, I have written water has got specific heat capacity 4200 joules per kg degree centigrade, 4200 joules per kg degree centigrade, 4200. Whereas land has got, land means sand, it has got 800 only joules per kg degree centigrade. So sea has got water has very high specific heat capacity in comparison to land or soil, or you can say sand, it is only 800. Then what happens? दिउँसो के हुन्छ? Now think, दिउँसो चाहिँ के हुन्छ? दिउँसो सनको हिट जब पर्छ, पानीमा पनि परिरहेछ, स्यान्डमा पनि पर्दैछ, अनि स्यान्डको कम छ स्पेसिफिक हिट क्यापेसिटी, यसको मतलब स्यान्ड छिटो तातिन्छ इन कम्पेरिजन टु वाटर, पानी ढिलो तातिन्छ। त जब स्यान्ड छिटो तातिन्छ भने त ल्यान्ड चाहिँ छिटो तातियो कम्पेरिटिभली त सी वाटर। त ल्यान्ड जब तातिन्छ भनेपछि ल्यान्डको सर्फेसमा भएको जुन एयर छ त्यो पनि तातिन्छ। त्यो जब तातिन्छ भनेपछि के हुन्छ त? एक्सप्यान्ड हुन्छ। एक्सप्यान्ड हुनु भएपछि चाहिँ इट्स डेन्सिटी डिक्रिजेस एन्ड द्याट गोज अप। ओके, लाइट भएर गोज अप जान्छ। कम्पेरिटिभली त्यो बेलामा दिउँसोको बेलामा चाहिँ सीको सर्फेसको माथि भएको चाहिँ एयर बढी चाहिँ डेन्सर हुन्छ, ल्यान्डको माथिको एयर लेस डेन्स, सीको माथिको एयर चाहिँ डेन्सर, सो हेभियर। सो यहाँको हावा लाइट भएर माथि जान्छ भने अनि यो डेन्सर एयर जुन हुन्छ यसको ब्लो, इट स्टार्ट्स ब्लोइङ फ्रम सी टुवर्ड्स द ल्यान्ड, दिस इज कॉल्ड योर सी ब्रिज। जस्ट रिभर्स केस, अब दिनभरिमा तात्यो, पानी पनि तातेर बसेको छ, पानीको अनि माथिको हावाहरू पनि तात्यो त्यही किसिमले, अनि ल्यान्डको पनि तातिएको छ। अब राति के हुन्छ त? कुलिङ कुलिङ प्रोसेस सुरु हुन्छ दिउँसोचरी तात्तिनेको जुन प्रोसेस चलिरहन्छ हिटिङ प्रोसेस भने राति कुलिङ प्रोसेस सुरु भएको हुन्छ अब राति के हुन्छ त भन्दाखेरि फेरि यो ढिलो यो जुन तात्तिएको हावा जुन थियो यो चाहिँ के हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि ढिलो चाहिँ चिसो हुन्छ यो किनकि पानीको चाहिँ स्पेसिफिक क्यापेसिटी हाई भएको हुनाले यो ढिलो यो चाहिँ फेरि के हुन्छ त छिटो चाहिँ चिसो हुन्छ ल्यान्डदेखि माथिको एयर जब यो छिटो चिसो हुन्छ भने चिसो हुनुको मतलब कन्ट्र्याक्ट हुनु कन्ट्र्याक्ट भनेको मतलब भोल्युम घट्नु भनेको डेन्सिटी बढ्नु त यो चाहिँ लेस डेन्स हुन्छ यिनीहरू हलुङ्गो हुन्छ यसको माथिको हावा एट नाइट अनि ल्यान्डदेखिको सर्फेसको माथिको हावा चाहिँ डेन्सर हुन्छ सो यो यहाँ यो माथितिर हुन्छ यो तलतिर हुन्छ द्याट्स वाइ इट ब्लोज सो ड्युरिङ नाइट द एयर एबभ द ल्यान्ड इज denser than the air above the water at sea. So that's why it blows towards from land towards the sea. So it's called land breeze. So in this way, at day, sea breeze, okay, air blows from sea towards the land, whereas at night, land breeze. That means air blows from land towards the sea. It takes place. That is nothing but due to the high specific heat capacity of water in comparison to the low specific heat capacity of sand. Okay, clear? Okay, I think you have got it. The time is over for today, so the rest topics we will discuss tomorrow. For today this much only. Thank you very much.